basement. Level vibes with another one. Straight up. Blackness, aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention. Education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benskop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune and pon the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop.
It's here again! The Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union Festive Favorites Christmas promotion is here. Members, here is your chance to win and win big. You can win one of 10 50-inch television sets, over 40 grocery vouchers valued $50,000, one of 10 microwaves, one of 10 vacuums, and one of 10 Samsung cell phones. But wait, that's not all. Members also have a chance to win one 60-inch television, an air conditioning unit, a double-door refrigerator, a trip for two to Kaitro Falls, and a grand prize of $500,000. Yes, you heard right. $500,000. It's Festive Favorites at GPS CCU. To enter this promotion, you must be a member of the credit union in good standing and must have taken your first loan. Each member is entitled to only one coupon. Coupons are available at our Hatfield Street office and our representatives countrywide. Happy holidays from the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union. People helping people.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship?
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours a blackout and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They done drive no fear in the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barrett and Sue. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption Unemployment racism and the lie, they say one Guyana. Cause when you look where the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how we will set up.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cup, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a...
Are we gonna do a body man walk right now? You ready? Box, let me go now. Hear me sing now. Body walk, body walk. Body walk, everything, body walk, truck, body walk, body walk, body walk, everything, body, listen, body jump, body jump, body jump, everything, body jump, body jump, body jump, body jump, everything, hear me sing, so, big body can't wear it, tight pants, big body jump.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965, I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cup, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have no...
All right, sorry about that. 10% can't work. We have an issue here at the studio, and it's something that I want you guys to assist me in fixing. I just have to be straight up with you guys. Lemon just walked off the job. Again, I'm just saying Lemon walked off the job. We here at Benchop Radio offered him 10%, and he walked off the job. So for 2025, we are looking for an operator because we've had it with Lemon. This is just not about money, but he just sucked his teeth up. Typical Guyanese Buxton style or Philippi or Cromarty or Linden people style, and walked off the job. Walked right off the job. We decided that we were going to just give him his last week of salary, his little money, and his paycheck and some tips people gave. And Lemon quit. I might as well just let you guys know. He said straight up, 10% can't work. And a lot of you guys in the audience going to be laughing. This is no laughing matter. Lemon just walked right off the job. 10% can't work. 10% can't work. I don't know what he expects us to do. We don't run an oil company. We don't have an oil economy. We don't have $1 trillion budget or nothing. And we don't take monies and give it to friends and families and cronies or whatever. So whoever is setting Lemon up, somebody in the audience, maybe it's Rajan Bim, maybe it's Desiree Smart, Felix, Rita Clark, somebody is setting Lemon up. But it's okay. Life goes on. 10%, he's not accepting it. He quit. And public servants in Guyana wouldn't do that. They wouldn't follow Lemon. They wouldn't suck the teeth and say it can't work. They wouldn't do it. Those senior police officers, they wouldn't do it. Well, at least I give Lemon credit for saying it can't work. And then he left. Well, it is what it is. But some of them taking 10% and they're bowing and all manner of things. Somebody told me this guy is from Buxton. Let me stop picking on the Buxtonians, right? To me, he's more like not even Belladrum, maybe Weldad, or you got to be from West Coast Berbice though, and it's probably East Coast, so it's got to be maybe Anns Grove area, right? He can't be a Buxtonian. He can't be from Philippi. He cannot be from Linden. So it's got to be from Anns Grove area, right? There's got to be an Anns Grove man. Nobody can tell me that this is not an Anns Grove guy. He can't be from BV. There's a slight possibility that maybe he was born in Plaisance. I don't know, but he's got to be My last, whatever, $2 or $22 that Lemon dashed on the desk before he walked out, he's got to be from Anse Grove, right? Whoever that guy is has got to be from Anse Grove. How are you guys doing tonight? Lincoln Lewis is going to be with us later. Ingrid Hamer, you can say whatever you want to say. He's got to be from Anse Grove. Good night to Ingrid. Good night to all of you. Denise Booker is saying that he's a BV man. Don't disrespect, but then again, he could be a BV man for truth. We'll ask Mr. Paul Slow to figure that out for us in his classroom on his program. By the way, great job, Paul. Great job. Siobhan McDonald saying, what Siobhan is saying? Mark, you like all Belladrum name, right? Yes, the Mingos. I went to school with a girl. Anyways, this is Straight Up. My name is Mark Benchop. The Mingos, yeah, I did attend school with a Vanny Mingo. Nice person. That's when we learned then on the quarantine that there are other places in Guyana that speak totally different from quarantine people. We learned about hello and oh. Hello. Hi, Belladrum. How are you guys? I love the people there at Belladrum. I love the people of West Coast, Berbice, Litchfield, you name it. I went to a couple of villages there for a particular reason, but I'm not here to say why I went there. I had to leave early, though. Yeah, 6 o'clock in the morning. All right. So how are you guys doing? My name is Mark Benchop. Welcome to Straight Up. Again, Lemon walked off the job. He said 10% can't walk. He's on strike. Well, let him go. Let him go. Right? So Lincoln Lewis is going to be with us. I don't know how am I going to be doing this here, but Lincoln is with us. We're not seeing him on the back stage. Lemon quit, so I don't know how am I going to operate this thing. But if Lincoln is listening, we are seeing that he has joined us backstage, but we're not seeing him on video. So maybe Lincoln can cut off and join us back again. All right. Hey, what's going on, guys? All of you, what's happening? My name is Mark Benchop. As you know, the corrupt PPP regime is forcing people to speak Spanish now. And so they started off in the Guyana police force. And I want you guys to listen to this policeman speaking Spanish right after, well, we are told that is a policeman, right after he got the 100,000. In fact, before he collected the 100,000, he had to speak Spanish. And this is what, if you guys recognize this policeman who spoke Spanish just prior to him collecting the 100,000, because what the PPP regime is doing, the fraudulent PPP regime, the regime that rigged its way into office, rigged a lot of elections in Guyana, that's the PPP regime. Now, this is what this policeman had to do, a serving member. Now, we're told that he's a serving member of the Guyana police force. We're not saying that he is, because we don't know. But what we know is that the PPP is forcing individuals to speak Spanish in Guyana. Take a listen.
Wow, ni porque estamos en diciembre ahora. No he encontrado la persona indicada. Vamos, mujeres, no se asusten de Menaconda, que ella está mansa ahora en diciembre. Yo simplemente la puedo complacer comprándole ropa y de todo, y dándole mucho amor y mucho cariño. Aparte de eso, ustedes saben que estamos en diciembre. El frío, ustedes pueden arropar mi anaconda.
So that is what's happening. Don't know which part of Guyana that quote-unquote policeman is from, whether he's Buxtonian. I don't know. You guys don't laugh at his appearance, but that is what's happening in Guyana right now. Listen to this policeman from the Guyana Police Force, this guy from the Guyana Police Force. Listen again. Forced to speak Spanish by Irfan and Jagdev before he got his 100,000. Forced to speak Spanish.
Wow, ni porque estamos en diciembre ahora. No he encontrado la persona indicada. Vamos, mujeres, no se asusten de Menaconda, que ella está mansa ahora en diciembre. Yo simplemente la puedo complacer comprándole ropa y de todo, y dándole mucho amor y mucho cariño. Aparte de eso, ustedes saben que estamos en diciembre. El frío, ustedes pueden arropar mi anaconda.
All right, my name is Mark Benchub again. Welcome to Straight Up. We are going to rock and roll. We are awaiting the arrival of Lincoln Lewis, who apparently is having some technical problems. He is with us. Can you hear us, Lincoln?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you can hear us, but there's no video. It's maybe we can rock and roll. Not sure what's happening. Maybe you purchased a 10% computer. Is that what's happening, Lincoln? 10%? All right. Here's what we're going to do, guys. We'll give Mr. Lewis another minute or so and see if he can get his camera working properly. So, guys, it's a little humor. The guy, you guys are so nosy, right? A lot of you guys are so nosy on this program who watch and listen. I don't know why are you guys so nosy. The guy is not Guyanese. Oh man, y'all so take a look at this guy and you guys gonna understand why I'm saying that y'all are nosy. Y'all are nosy.
Wow, ni porque estamos en diciembre ahora. No he encontrado a la persona indicada. Vamos, mujeres, no se asusten de Menaconda, que ella está mansa ahora en diciembre. Yo simplemente la puedo complacer comprándole ropa y de todo, y dándole mucho amor y mucho cariño. Aparte de eso, ustedes saben que estamos en diciembre. El frío, ustedes pueden arropar mi anaconda.
All right, again, good night and welcome to Straight Up. We are going to rock and roll. Remember not so long ago, I want you guys to take a look at this photograph. Again, take a good look at this photograph. Wayne Caesar, good night to you, sir. Wayne is saying that this guy is some athlete or whatever. I don't know where you get athlete in what days. He could not have been an athlete when I was an athlete. Guyana's #1 athlete. I made people like Basil Bradshaw and all of them broke all of the records. You guys check the books in Guyana to see who broke all the records. So I don't know. This guy was an athlete, Wayne Caesar. Was this guy actually an athlete? I don't know. But how many of you remember this? What Irfan Ali said when he was complaining like a little, sorry about that, guys, but he was complaining that Norton and others or whoever didn't want to shake his hands or bow or whatever. Take a listen to this here, guys.
The man refused to shake my hand twice. What do you want me to do? Bow before him? He's God?
That's the only thing you can do in terms
the
of
opposition leader is not God. The first thing you must know, the first thing you must do.
Neither of you is.
No, I'm not. That is why I reached out humbly trying to shake his hands and he refused. I tried humbly, Chabral, to shake his hand and he refused.
But that's the only mechanism.
Oh my God. If you can't shake the hands of a humble man, what else would you do?
If you can't shake the hand of a corrupt man, oh God. Oh. But look, the table has turned. Irfan Ali, if you can't shake the hands of that man who's supposed to be a humble man, you walk past him, you have no regards for him, and maybe rightly so. But look at him bowing. Look. Where I don't know what's happening. What's happening with these? What's happening with these guys? Bowing and bowing. You know, bowing and bowing. I don't know, guys. The position that he's in right now, the way that he is, something is telling me. But we're still waiting for Lincoln Lewis. Maybe we'll have to just have him on without the video. But we're seeing you, Lincoln. We're seeing you. Don't run. We're seeing you. And so before we get to Lincoln, look at this guy bowing. And let's go back to what Irfan Ali said not so long ago about bow.
The man refused to shake my hand twice. What do you want me to do? Bow before him? He's God?
That's the only thing you can do in terms
the
of
opposition leader is not God. The first thing you must know, the first thing you must do.
Neither of you is.
No, I'm not. That is why I reached out humbly trying to shake his hands and he refused. I tried humbly, Chabral, to shake his hand and he refused.
But that's the only mechanism.
Oh my God. If you can't shake the hands of a humble man, what else would you do?
Oh my gosh. If you can't, just imagine, right? But let's get back. He's talking about bowing and bow to a humble man. Who is Irfan? Irfan is nothing even close to God. Nothing. He's more on the side of Lucifer. But back to this guy. Who is this guy? Who is this guy from Plaisance? Is that how those guys from Plaisance or wherever behave? They bow? They bow? Of course, Deborah. Sharona Lynch. Oh, you're back. Okay. Okay, good to see you back again. Right? Good to see you back again. But before we get to Lincoln, we got a message to this guy, man. I don't paint all the people from Plaisance with this, but obviously this comes to mind. Somebody said BV, man. Paul Slow, your name calling. Is this how your friend bow? Anyways, a message to him.
Bow cat, just back. How about see me half with you? Hey, what's the shop in the line about cat to dirty? Nasty liberty. Them bow.
All right, again, welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benshop. Lincoln Lewis will be on. And he is on. In fact, we are seeing a photograph of Lincoln Lewis right here on 107.1 FM. 107. Y'all leave the BV people alone, right? And don't worry about what Shabarang said, but we're talking specifically about that guy. Them. Lincoln, good night to you and welcome to Straight Up. How are you doing, sir?
I am doing fine, Mark. Enjoying every moment.
Yep, thank you so much. And I'm glad
the life that God has given me.
Absolutely. Nice to see you here. Let's start right off the bat on something we want to talk about. Lincoln, we want to talk about, but before, just quickly, this popped up on my page 10 years ago on this very day. That photo that you're seeing there, that photograph, how many of you know that guy sitting there, chained, handcuffed to that bench for doing nothing other than just basically protesting in front of Anil Nandalal's office? On this day, 10 years ago, he was arrested. And I rushed down to Brickdam there, spent about 2 or 3 hours with him right there at Brickdam. And I took this photograph. I had a nice little BlackBerry phone or whatever, and I took this photograph. That's Crummy Wing, who was assassinated under the PPP regime. Courtney Crummy Wing. We've got to remember that, brother. All right, so Lincoln, let's get straight to business. According to news source, and it was all over the Village Voice as well, breaking news. All public servants to get 10% retroactive salary. Lots of Guyanese, most Guyanese are not happy. What's your position, sir?
Well, the Guyana Public Service Union and the government has agreed on the 10%. That's my understanding. I have not had the opportunity to really look at the details of the agreement, but the principle is that I see it as an act by the government that they are being crumbling with the pressure that the trade union has been and the public has been putting on them for not having collective bargaining over a number of years. What they will do now, knowing them, they will write the ILO, they will send a report to the ILO that they have had agreements with the Guyana Public Service Union, the Guyana Teachers Union, and whatever other collective agreements that they have signed with other agencies. So it is no longer a question of a numbers game or whether the workers are the increases are satisfactory to the workers. What is about them using it as PR, a part of the PR strategy to sell out there. That's how I see it.
Just a part of their PR strategy as well. Nothing is new, Lincoln, because every time these PACUs are in office, they just throw crumbs at the public servants. crumbs they throw at public servants. How disrespectful this is to public servants, knowing that it's said to be a billion-dollar economy, the fastest growing economy in the world, or one of the fastest growing economies, under the coalition with less, far less, no oil wealth, nothing. The coalition was able to do more than these PACUs in the PPP are doing right now. What is your take, sir? I see your hand up in it. Go right ahead, sir.
Let me just say to you, I've been involved in negotiations a number of years, and what I understood is that there is what you call resetting of the relativities when you are discussing or negotiating a contract. And from a trade union perspective, or the man who be the labor economist will tell you that resetting of that relativity is not how much percentage you have given, but how much money or what the money that you're receiving or the increase, has it been able to buy what you could have bought, say last year or the year before, or so forth. It is a question here is about the power of the dollar, how much it can buy, and what is the contribution towards the contribution towards the livelihood of the family. They're going to tell you about the dollars and cents and the percentage of how much it has moved. We have given this amount of percent this year. Next year it will be that 10 plus 5, or the other year going to be 15 plus 7. They will tell you that. But it is the power of the dollar that matters. How much people can buy from what they are receiving. The increase, where it takes you, and when you calculate that vis-a-vis how you can look. There was a period you look at the European currency, the British pound. You look at the entire basket of currencies, like what the EU, the British, the American, the Canadian. You put them together, you get the average, and from that you use it to see what your dollar can buy. But even in this case, what you are getting is that you are getting a increase of the earning gap significantly, because I understand that every minister is going to receive it, even the president. And the higher your money and you get the same percentage, then the gap will increase significantly. And let me come back to this situation, to what I was saying earlier. In resetting of the relativity, you look at how you can move the minimum to the midpoint, and how much you can move what you call the midpoint to the maximum. So you don't expect that everybody will get the same percentage, but you will get the bottom may get a 10% plus a couple thousand, maybe a $10,000 to make the minimum. But the top man will not get a 10%. He may get a 5% because his takings are bigger. It is all in an effort of resetting the relativities as it relates to the purchasing power of the individuals who are benefiting from this package. I hope this has helped you to understand our take on it.
Thank you so much. Crumbs indeed, crumbs upon crumbs. That's what's happening there. If you're now joining us, General Secretary of the Guyana Trades Union Congress, Lincoln Lewis, is with us tonight. And we're talking about 10%. And the 10%, a lot of Guyanese, most Guyanese are saying 10% just can't work. And rightly so. It cannot work. Lincoln, we'll get back to the this 10% and can't walk, and people are crying out loud. Lots of folks are crying out loud. And this woman, this vendor, says it all for people. This vendor.
Oh, Jesus Christ. If cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man.
All sorts of things. It's just gone right up. Right up, it's gone. But let me just, as we move away from that, Irfan Ali was at the officer's ball or whatever, Christmas ball or whatever it was, the Guyana police force. And they seem to be jumping up, some of them jumping up for that 10%, that meager 10% increase. It means it's not much at all, nothing much compared to what Irfan and all of those fat cats are getting. But lots of people on social media, Lincoln, are talking about this photograph, and they see it as gross disrespect. What's your take on this photograph, sir?
Mark, I am embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that a citizen has to be caught in this situation. A man going up, virtually going on his knees. But outside of that, it is what currently exists in the society. People believe that they have to grovel, you know. People believe that unless they do certain things that are out of the norm, that's the only way they will not be targeted. Sometimes that man is so afraid that he got up very fast and bowed down to the president because he understands the abuse of power by people who are placed in position of privilege. So while I'm embarrassed, I understand that there may be other factors that caused this guy to behave in this way.
Other factors, indeed. Other factors. And so moving away from that for a moment, it's embarrassing, and the family members of this guy, even himself, should be embarrassed. Irfan doesn't have any sort of shame. You know, he's all over the place, pomposetting himself, as folks in Guyana would say. Let's move away from that, please. I want to ask you a question as it pertains to this recent controversy of the report that this officer was removed from her post. Then the Guyana police force issued a statement saying that, no, not true. That's not true. She followed every single protocol. She followed the protocols. Everything is okay. But they're not explaining the fact that she was actually transferred, because she was transferred. She was removed. But what is your take on this whole controversy in terms of her sudden removal?
Let me say to you that I believe that it takes me back to the issue with the administrative Borough School of Art. I don't know if you remember that issue.
Yes.
Where there was this intrusion by some person close to a minister. And when the matter went out there, and it was said that it has not only political overtones, but it had racial overtones. Mr. Jagdi, I understand, called the person in and says that it was wrong what happened, asked him to withdraw his resignation, and he apologized to the man. He was not the person who committed the offense. The offense was committed by his minister. You don't come to tell me by where the laws and the constitution in this country don't make it right, or don't protect anybody, any minister or so on, who is involved in or found guilty to some extent about racial slurs and these type of things. He did nothing about. He said they did nothing about the minister, but try and get the guy back out to work, because it will. The Achilles heels has always been the accusation of race and corruption for the PPP, and they don't want. They are being accused of corruption. They didn't want the race cap to be raised on them, the flag to be raised and put up in the air on them. So that's what they did with that. In this case here, this is another situation where they decide that the young lady who left this country should not have gone. She must not go. They decide on that. And while they have decided on that, it goes to the point now where the lady went to the court again, and she was given the green light. The court order was served. They did not want the lady to pass. They had wanted her to reject the court order. In as much as there's a court order to tell her that she can't travel. They believe that the reason why they put certain people to head nearly every division in this country, if they can get rid of a few of them who they still have, and put some of the goons as heads of the divisions or group, they will do it. They had wanted the lady they had wanted the officer not to allow the lady to go. And since she passed, instructions were given that she be transferred. But it is the swift response from the media and other institutions in this society, even at the international level, that embarrassed them to the extent that they have retreated from that position. PPP don't normally retreat. They don't care what happens. And she is not the person who has been doing their biddings. She's a person who they expect to do their biddings. What has happened here now is that you can't believe anything the commissioner comes from the commissioner's office. They forgot that this is maybe a large country, but it has a small population. And nearly everyone knows somebody who know the police. This here should not stop like this. There are some institutions in this society that needs to follow up on this matter. It need to be prosecuted. People will say, or the lady may say, "Oh, I don't want a problem." It's not about she. It's about what they are doing to the system. It is about the principles, universal and otherwise. It is about the law.
Lincoln,
How they intend.
well
Yes,
said there. I got a report from a usually reliable, good police officer in Guyana. And that police officer indicated to me just moments ago that this officer, a deputy superintendent, I believe it's Harris, is back at her post, is back on the job at her post. And so I just wanted to say that this is a reliable source from the Guyana Police Force, and I'll go with my source. And if in fact she is back on the job, this officer, well, good. Congratulations. Glad that she's back on the job. She should not have
May I, Mark?
Sure,
this
sir.
is not question whether it's not question whether she is returned. It's the level of humiliation, right?
I got you on that. Yes, I do agree with you on the humiliation part.
It's the level of stress that this lady has gone through.
Absolutely.
Right? It's a question here where these guys intend to continue to abuse their privilege in office. It's a different situation. This question here is not whether she was transferred, only whether she was transferred or not, or she returned to a substantive job. In the first instance, it should not have happened.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Should not have happened indeed. Second source is confirming. Yeah, second police source is confirming that she is back. But I agree with you, Lincoln. Yes, folks are happy that she's back on the job, but it's the level of humiliation. Speaking of humiliation, sir.
But before you move out from there, Mark, let me just make the point to you.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what may well happen, Mark? She may not even get a promotion in the future, so long these guys are in government. They will take it to that distance. These men and women are a bunch of wicked people.
They just have until next year to be voted out of office, and then the country will be back on track. Once these vagabonds.
Mark, I understand what you're saying, but you need to call on all those young men and women. It's time they register and time they go to the polling booth and cast that ballot.
Well said.
That's absolutely important.
I agree with you 100%.
By staying home. And people need to understand very clearly that, look, if you don't vote, you have no right to speak about what a government does. You don't have any right to do so. If you don't vote,
all right,
you have a responsibility in participating in the process of selecting a government, electing a government.
A good point. And this is what the Village Voice has been driving home for a long time. Go out, get registered. Go out, get registered. Vote. And some people might argue, well, look, they don't vote, but they pay taxes and they pay all the salaries to the public servants, the police, Irfan, Jack Dale, all of them. But I get your point. Go out and vote, guys. Vote these vagabonds out of office. Yeah, go ahead, Lincoln. You were making another point.
You pay taxes, yes. But it's your tax dollar. When it's your tax dollar, you must go to the finality to determine who been paid from your money in an elected office. You have that responsibility.
Vote.
We have to do something.
And vote. Lincoln.
I want to take this opportunity to implore on these young men and women
to go out,
register, and come and vote. You know, today I was nourished with Andrews and two other comrades. We were picketing in the avenue. And it struck me. A young lady came to talk with us. She indicated that she's around 21. She's at 21 years of age, and that's the age that Critchlow turned up this country. She was one person. She's the first person who took time out of over 20 minutes to talk with us about the ills of this society and how we can get the young people mobilized to bring about the requisite change. So there is still hope. There are young people out there who are prepared to roll up their sleeves, and let's do what is necessary.
Roll up your sleeves and let's do what is necessary. All of us have to play a part. I haven't seen Rhonda Lane. Rhonda, good night. Somebody check on Rhonda, make sure she's okay. Rhonda Lane, good night to Brenda Braithwaite, all of the Brendas, but there's a particular reason why I'm saying good night to Brenda Braithwaite or Braffett. Rhonda Lane, good night. And some folks are chipping in to make sure that folks in front of GCOM, they get some nice bottles of water and so forth. Rhonda Lane, you will be hearing from me later on, maybe tomorrow. But let's move on. Lincoln, this is the acting chief magistrate, Ms. Magusti, who seemed to be on the firing line now. The Attorney General, Anil, is questioning her decision now to allow Brutus' wife, allegedly allowing Brutus' wife to leave the country. Anil is now saying what this magistrate, did was wrong. Your take again, another attack here?
I'm telling you, I said it earlier. They're not comfortable with the decision. We are in a dictatorship, where the man who is there at the bar, the Attorney General, he wants to instruct the judges and magistrates what ought to be their decisions. He wants to do that. And I'm saying that I want to urge the various civil society groups that we need to rally around these persons who are in public office in making, to insulate them from the government's rot. These guys don't care. All they want to do is to use the people's power to oppress the people and beat the society into subjection. We have to do something. I have not read or read. But if he has a problem, then go and appeal it. Don't come out. These guys are crass, they are crude, they are bovine. I always believe that this group can never run a government, They lack the finesse. What manner of man is this? Head of the bar to be coming out and saying these things. And the man who we paying to run the country, who believes that he's a disc jockey, he has decided from the inception that he's going to outsource the presidency to Jagdeo to do what he wants to do. We have reached a critical point here.
Critical point indeed. Yep. Right up. Lincoln Lewis is our guest tonight, and I'm reading some of your comments there. some of your comments. I'm reading it, but let's head back to Lincoln. Head back to Lincoln Lewis as we bring this up here. Lincoln, recently in the Village Voice, people should continue to read the Village Voice, get the Village Voice every single day, share the Village Voice. Lincoln's article in the Village Voice, Eye on Guyana, with Lincoln Lewis, says here, instead of wasting time attacking me, hold your leader accountable. Talk about this, Lincoln. Instead of wasting time attacking you, in other words, you're saying they should hold their leader accountable. Talk to us about this, please.
That article emanated from a press conference that the TUC did last week, Tuesday, where we issue a statement and we follow up by speaking to the statement about a statement Jagdeo made that he will not meet with the opposition, and he deemed the opposition to be obstructionist, and he will not talk to him. Our position was very clear that the Constitution don't give Jagdeo that authority. And under Article 13 of the Constitution, it speaks to an inclusionary democracy, and we must make sure that it be respected. The opposition in this country has what we call, half of the people voted for the opposition based on the seats in National Assembly.
Over 218,000 persons.
And this man is going to say to people that he will not talk to the representative of the people because they are opposition, and he considers them to be obstructionists. Our position is very clear that Jagdeo is out of order, and he must be told under every circumstance. He must be told where to get to hell off. And we did just that. But in saying so, we are driven by the disrespect he has shown for the opposition. And if he can show that disrespect for the opposition, what he will not show to members of civil society and basically the citizens of this country, talk down to them and treat them anyhow. In that statement, we made it very clear that we are disappointed in the silence that comes from the leader of the opposition. They have not come out we come out to defend the position, the onslaught that the PPP government is generating against the opposition. We come out and we call on the opposition to stand up and fight back, demonstrate some testicular fortitude and stand up and fight back to Jagdeo, rather than joining us. 90% of what we said in that statement, directed at Jagdeo. 10% was directed at Ali, who outsourcing the presidency, and Mr. Norton, the leader of the opposition, rather than the opposition from the level of the chairman of the party, rather than they join us, see it for what it's worth, take some of what we have said as talking points and fight back Jagdeo. Today they said nothing about it. They turned to abuse the TUC, abuse Lincoln Lewis and others, right? It is that what generated that letter, right? We have to be focused. But let me make this point very clear, to the citizens of this country. The trade union belong to the members who pay dues, and the leadership of the trade unions are answerable to these members. the leader of the opposition, the Vice President Jack Dio, and Ali, Mark Phillips, they are paid by the taxpayers of this country. And Lincoln Lewis or any other citizen has a right to question what they do. We have a right to do it. And you know me for a number of years. I have spoken about every government in this country. I have spoken about every opposition leader. I've spoken about Keddy Jagan. I have had issues with Desmond Knight as opposition leader, telling him what I want to tell him. I've had issues with Corbyn. I have had issues with Granger as opposition leader. I have had issues with Jack Dio. Let me make the point. No way, at no time in the past, I've ever had the opportunity to respond to the chairman of one of the premier political parties in this country. Seems as if this guy has nothing to do. We have to up the game. We have to up the game. Whether I vote for you or I didn't vote for you, you are the next in line to be leader of a premier of Forbes Burnham party. Forbes Burnham was a man who had a brain. He hadn't a head for his style. He had a brain. And I will expect that any chairman of any of Forbes Burnham party will not be a brainless one. This is what caused me to write that article. And I want to say to people that you can say anything. You can do anything. But not when you are looking to get the confidence of the people in this society. We have reached a point now, where you can't say anything, you can't question anything of the political leaders. When it's Jack Dio, he coming to cost you. When is Mr. Norton, a number of men and women who you may not know or see, they're coming to cost you out. Well, I want to warn you guys that elections are not being won by making enemies in the society. Elections are being won by bringing people together, by encouraging persons to join your fold. Unless you believe that you want to remain in the opposition, well, let me say it to you, I have a news for you, that men and women, citizens, don't go behind weak leaders. They love to have strong men and women who are fighters. And in this specific case, fighting for justice and fair play in the society. I have a problem. I have a problem every day. And I hope these guys not seeing what I'm talking about. I have a problem. The problem that I have about this issue here is that every time we talk, something happened, like this lady, Yaris. She has been moved, transfer, and so on. The party put out a statement. And you know what the statement said? It concludes by saying, he said, when we get into government, we are aware when you get into government. By the time you get to government, so many of us can be destroyed. Let me just take you back a bit, Mark. When you are the death squad, Let me remind you when you had the death squad. We can talk what we want to talk about Corbyn, but Corbyn was there every day, every week. Corbyn was there. You know what he was able to do? He was able to get them to agree to have a commission of inquiry into the killings. But he had less seats in the National Assembly than what is today, that the opposition has today. But he was able to get that. Remember that. Remember when I'm being paroled in the National Assembly, Ramatar, Granger was every Friday outside the office of the president, force other leaders to come on board and force them to call elections, which they lost. We have to, people want, like today somebody telling me, they say, you know, the times have changed. Yes, times have changed. But because times have changed, that don't mean that we are going to sit on our laurels and don't do anything about it. That's my concern. Mark, don't wind me up tonight. Thank you.
Lincoln, let me. I noticed some bumps raising. Sean Anthony, I knew his bumps was going to raise, but you did speak earlier. Obviously, Sean now probably jump out from underneath the car and decided to. He wants to hear about. He wants to hear about the salary increase and blah blah blah. Sean, you're a little bit late, but don't allow your bumps. Don't
Which
allow
Sean you're talking about? Not my cousin Sean you're talking about.
Yeah, same Sean who celebrated his 77th birth anniversary a couple days ago. Sean Anthony Ben.
That's my cousin.
Yeah, well, you might have to
Tell him to
keep an eye
call
on.
me. I will help him to. I will point him where he can get all the information.
No, don't waste of time, Lincoln. And just in the interest of transparency, he's also a relative of mine, and so I just cast him aside every holiday, right? And you should do the same too. Don't own up to him publicly as a relative any longer because his bumps is raising. And he's asking here, Lincoln, and I'll pose this question that Sean, I believe Sean is asking that, or is it Francine? No, Francine has some weird questions. Francine is just out for fight all the time. So let's go to Gary Greenwich here. The opposition, the unions have all failed their supporters and members. GPSU just signed for additional slave wage increase for public servants. The Guyana Trades Union Congress is the umbrella organization. So Lincoln, why didn't you bell the cat and stop grandstanding? That's according to Gary Greenwich.
Let me make the point. The Guyana Public Service Union is not an affiliate of the TUC. And the TUC is an umbrella organization. They don't make decisions for the affiliates. The affiliates make their decisions. If we are going to take any position on affiliate action, it has to be consistent with what the affiliate is advancing. The Guyana Trade Union Congress don't negotiate increased wages and salary.
All right, thank you. Hope Gordon Greenwich got that. Not Gordon, sorry. Gary, good night to you, Gary. Always active. But let's go to your cousin, whose bumps is raised right now. Sean Anthony Ben is saying, to you, Lincoln Lewis, what is the TUC? You could just imagine his facial expression, right? What is the TUC doing to push back against the oppression of the workers?
I want to tell you this, Sean, the success of the 1999 strike with the public service in this country, it succeeded because you had an opposition as an ally who were prepared to work with the public service union to achieve what was achieved at that point. All over the world, trade unions' strength this trade union strength is always been augmented by the political ally. In the United States, there have been an upsurge, in union membership. You know why? Because Biden, as president, went to the picket line and said to the workers there, the leaders and the workers, in fact, I am here with you. I have your back. And he didn't only say that, he did the requisite thing of upping the minimum wage. I'm saying to you, that's an ally. And the trade union operate in vacuum, while the trade union has a social, economic, and a social, economic, and political responsibility influence the climate within which we operate. The trade union don't have the responsibility to change the government. We are trying to influence the climate within which we operate.
And if you stick a pin on that there, so Sean Anthony Bennon, I think it's a good follow-up here now. And Sean seems to be busy in the why not start your own show? Let people see you, Sean. I notice Thomasina, sorry, Ben, is saying that you are her nephew. Use her nephew, sorry. I don't know. But Sean is asking a good question, a follow-up here. But where is the trade union's strength?
The trade union strength is in the membership of the trade union. The strength, you see, you don't understand the philosophical underpinnings of a trade union. It's not just the head of
that is why I looked at another question as we looked at a question, sorry, that someone is asking, and I'll get to that though. But someone asked a good question here in terms of the union, and I'm trying to get to that particular question as a follow-up. Sorry, so Bantu King is asking, what are the functions, not just of the union, but specifically, what are the functions of the Guyana Trades Union Congress? Because some people probably misunderstand what your functions or the GTUC functions are. You care to explain briefly?
We are to address issues where that has been brought to us by affiliates of the TUC. If for instance the CCW has a problem that they find that they need assistance in some form or the other, they will come to us, but we will have to work in consonant with them. We're not separating this thing when they bring their matter there. We don't determine, well, okay, this is what you have to do. We can give instructions. We can call a strike. The affiliate will have to call a strike. We can give blessings to a strike. That's how it operates. The TUC can't get a cover to say, look, ABCD is happening. Let's call a strike. We can't do that. The affiliates got to call the strike. The affiliates, and let me say to you, administratively, there are some decisions that we can make. The council can make. There are some decisions requires the vote of the Congress, where the delegates are being called in. This is not, you don't sit down and say, man, why they don't call a strike? But even if you call a strike, there are political parties, they are not codes and laws that preclude them from doing some things, but there are laws and codes that preclude the trade union from doing a number of things. The issue of secondary picketing. I heard people when the teachers union was on strike. Even trade union leaders say, "I'll call out all your members." Can't be done that way. That's secondary picketing. They can call out their members for increased wages and salary, just like what the teachers were doing, and they can collaborate and work together. But they can't just call out their members. That's secondary picketing, and the law precludes you from doing those type of things. So there are a number of things I'm hearing from people who I expect to know better. But the problem may be that we walk around with thoughts, believing that they are right, and we regurgitate them, and people buy them that is the facts or the truth, and how it ought to be done. Yes, ma'am.
All right, well said there. I was looking at because I'm glad that you're clarifying the role of the unions, and especially the Guyana Trades Union Congress. And then you mentioned the 97 strike brought about by the union. 99 by the union, supported by the then opposition leader, Hugh Desmond Hoyt. Thanks for that reminder, not clarification, reminder. Bantu King is saying thanks for the clarity. Because a lot of people believe that Lincoln Lewis and the GTUC can call a strike, can call a strike. As Francine Cruz is saying, Brother Lincoln, there is no laws in lawless country. Let us get the struggle going. Right? Francine Cruz. But here is someone, I saw this comment by Osmond Ward. Osmond Ward is saying, hey, Mark, no disrespect to Lincoln. Osmond Ward is of the view that Lincoln is all talks than action. We operate behind the scene. I don't know what he means, we operate. All talks. But let me say this before you respond, Lincoln. Lincoln is probably the only union leader out there standing up and confronting, maybe on a daily basis, confronting the PPPC regime, confronting the butcher from Unity, confront every single day. Maybe some of you don't pay attention, Mr. Osmond Ward. But Lincoln is a guy during the course of the death squads and all these things, when most Guyanese were afraid to speak out. Maybe Osmond Ward was one of them as well. Afraid to speak out, ducking and hiding. There were just a few of us out there in the streets protesting. Lincoln Lewis was one of them. And so when people say, like Osmond Ward, oh, Lincoln, don't speak out, oh, this, come on. You know, people were afraid. Lots of people, I see some of them busy in the section there, tinging away, but they were afraid to speak out. Thank God for social media. And we did it when there wasn't any Facebook. We did it on the ground. Now, what you got to do is call your leaders, your political leaders, to build the cat for y'all. They're the ones who are talking. You elected them not to talk. You elected them for action. So go to them and ask them to bell the cat, because they're being paid by you to bell the cat. And now onward, I'm not upset. It's a fair question you're asking. But before Lincoln respond, let me just take them back in 2009. Death squad, killing squads, PPP, paying people to kill people, assassinate people, lock people up, all sort of things. And this is what we did. You see, three of us there: Lincoln Lewis, Norris Witter, and of course that's me in the middle. Guess where we were going? We were going into the Brigham lockups. This article was written by Dale Andrews, the late Dale Andrews, my good friend. May his soul continues to rest in peace. Dale says here, a peaceful picketing exercise outside the office of the Commissioner of Police ended abruptly with the arrest of former treason accused. Oh, Mark Benshap. General Secretary of the Caribbean Congress of Labor, Lincoln Lewis, and Acting General Secretary of the Guyana Trades Union Congress, Norris Witter. The trio was hauled off to the Brigham police station shortly before midday by a group of armed ranks. Armed ranks. And you know what? For 3 days in a filthy, but I was accustomed to that, in a filthy lockups. Lee North is saying like Mark Bumstrays. No. Setting the record straight and providing the evidence ain't got nothing to do with Bumstrays. Right? Ain't got nothing to do. If my Bumstrays, y'all gonna know when my Bumstrays, especially you, Lee. Right? No, it is setting the record straight. Because some of y'all who don't remember things and feel that people just all talk. Maybe the politicians in the opposition are all talk. And so when y'all say people like Lincoln all talk, I have to set the record straight. Because we've been there on the ground fighting the corrupt PPP regime. But like some of y'all bombs raised, because I'm showing you guys. And here it is now, Lincoln. Here's where Osmond Ward's slip is showing. Osmond Ward is saying now, Mark, I'm not affiliated with a party, but as a I'm not saying that anything is wrong with your opinion, but you don't have to come back and say you're not affiliated with any party. Of course you're not. Of course you're not, right? But Lincoln, what is your take on what some people are saying that you're in fighting? I noticed one member of the PNC said, she said, is where Lincoln been for the past 10 years? Where you been, Lincoln? Talk to us.
Well, maybe she come from under what we call under the in the creek we say come from under the Tacuba. Maybe she was hiding there all the time. I don't know what she's talking about. That is indicative. Our statement is indicative of something. I write every week. I've been writing every week. During the last 10 years, I've written in Chronicle. I've written in Kaicho. I've been writing in Village Voice for the last 4 years. Tell me, she has not been reading? I don't want to believe that our people are so myopic. I don't want to believe that our people still have this view that leaders of political parties are infallible and they ought not to be questioned. Rather than asking me where I was, I am not representing you. You didn't elect me to work. Go and ask Jack D. what are you doing with the government, with your money, with the resources of this country. Go and ask Ali what are you doing with it. Go and ask Mr. Norton why be silent. Let me tell you something, This matter cut deeper than you can ever think. I am upset. I am mad that Mr. Jaglio get the temerity to look at Mr. Norton and tell him that he will not talk to him. I see total disrespect. I have known Mr. Norton for a number of years. I want to know why he allowed himself to be disrespected by this man. It has more than that. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Who are running them? These people get a list, you know. The people say they're going to establish 500 companies. They're starting now to establish 500 companies. And that was released when Modi was here. 350 must be for East Indian and 150 for Chinese. Where do you people fit in? These are the issues you guys must want to deal with. Don't worry me. I'm telling you, I am not on your side. I am here to defend you. But all that I'm saying, you tell you the people you elect as political leaders, tell them, let's face the line. Dance to the music and march on. We don't waste time, man. Don't come and tell me, don't come and ask me these questions. I have not been elected to go and change government. I have been elected to all government accountable. All politicians are accountable. I've been elected for that.
Thank you so much, Lincoln.
That's
As we
what
look at the time. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. As we look at the time, and I just want to thank George Tama.
You can go to the morning.
Yeah, so George Tan is saying Guyanese don't appreciate persons who stand up for them. An ungrateful lot. George Tan is saying that. We have to respect, and I know only a few fighters. I know only a few people during, not social media fighters, and it's okay to be social media fighters now, but the days without Facebook, those were days without Facebook, without social media, on the ground fighting. That's why I say kudos to people like Civic. Sometimes Civic throw out and lash and all over the place, Civic there, but Civic is Civic. Brave enough, stood up against Jack Dale and those kunumunus in the PPP regime. Very few people. A lot of you guys don't remember those days. If you Google it, if you talk to people on the ground, and Lincoln, you know those days, just 2 or 3 of us alone, standing up and fighting against the corrupt PPP regime, the murderous PPP regime. And so, people just cannot pop out of midair just like that and feel that, people are all just talk. Maybe they're doing it for a particular selfish reason. Lincoln, as we close off tonight, and we know those reasons, mind you, what hope you have for Guyana and for the PPP to be removed next elections? What's happening in the opposition now? Do you see any hope in removing the PPP regime?
I believe that we can build the opposition and other forces can build a ground game to defeat the PPP. You see this thing about a lot of people believe that if we get biometrics, we'll win this election. Biometrics is only one thing. The first thing we got to do is get people to register. Get an ID card. You have to put systems in place to make sure that GCOM, and I believe that GCOM, with all the numbers I'm looking at, everything I'm looking at, all the comparisons that we're making, GCOM is in bed with the PPP to rig this election. And we got to do something to stop it.
Somebody may ask, but before I wait for somebody may ask, let me ask you, what is the union doing, and what can the Guyana Trades Union Congress, of which you are the General Secretary? I know you've been writing a lot about the matter. I know you've been talking up and taking positions, and kudos to you on that. But what can the union do to force the Guyana Elections Commission to do what's right?
It cannot be done by the Guyana Trade Union Congress while voting. One man, one vote in this country was fought for by the labor movement. Critchlow started in March in 1926 to make sure next 2 years going to be 100 years.
Critchlow, not to cut you, Lincoln. Critchlow started the march. The march must continue.
Yes. I'm saying to you that I want you to understand that, look, we need all progressive forces who believe in democratizing the system, who believe in justice and fair play, to hold hands and make sure that we work together to make sure that we have what we call a new list. We need a new list. All the observer teams that came to Guyana, be it EU, Carter Center, CARICOM, OAS, wherever they come from, everybody said we have a bloated list, and it was correct. We have to work to make sure. There's something I'm asking up to today. If everybody can point me to the position where the opposition has spoken to these groups to make sure that they get their support and they don't come back here when the PPP call an election with the same list, the same bloated list. They're coming back to observe, or will come back to observe something that is skewed. You condemn it, but you're coming back to on the same condition. I'm saying that we have to. Let me tell you, Mark, I've prepared a letter to all the observer teams that came here, bringing to their attention what they said. We are prepared to work. You want to know what we're going to do? That's what we're doing. We are making it, we are talking it. We're going after them. You don't come and tell us that elections were free and fair when you said the list was bloated. And you're coming back here to tell us you come to observe election with a bloated list. It has to be corrected. So for you who want to know what the GTUC can do, that's what we do. Thank you.
All right, Lincoln. As you can tell, many of you can tell, my alarm clock has gone off, and Emma is my alarm clock. Dad, it's time to go. But before we go, though, as I thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for what you do, for what you stand for, and you stand up and you are brave enough to say it as it is. And every single day you do that. And people need to read and run through what's happening in the Village Voice newspaper there. And not only do you do that, you guys go out, you and Norris Witter, and just a few other persons go out in front of, I believe, Ramson's office, the so-called Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture. Maybe some folks don't follow that. And if they want to know...
Every Tuesday and Wednesday, we are in front of there between 11 to 12:30. We are. It has 80 days has elapsed since Ramson embarrassed or made racial slurs to the administrator.
And if folks like your cousin Sean Anthony Ben is so fixated on what the union, what you were doing, maybe he's not following, but if he's so fixated, I've never seen a listener so fixated on you as much as Sean Anthony Ben is fixated on you, Lincoln. But he's your cousin. But if he's so fixated on you, next Tuesday maybe he can join you and Norris Witter and just a few others helping to hold the corrupt PPP accountable. And then next Tuesday or so, in front of GCOM, he can also join the crew in front of GCOM. He can take a couple of people from his area, take them in front of GCOM as well. This thing is not just all talk, what you are do, Lincoln, what your union are do. Go into Congress Place and bring some of the people out of Congress Place too. Take them in front of the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture every Tuesday and Wednesday. Take them in front of GCOM. Come on, Sean Ben. You can do better. Don't just come on programs and what this body doing, what this body doing, what this body do. You should change your last name to what this body, who are do this, what this body. Give me a break, Sean Anthony Ben. Sometimes I don't even know why I say to people that we are actually related. Well, good night to you, Ben. Mr. Lewis, thank you so much. I know you're not gonna ever mention that Sean Ben is your cousin again. Now he's saying that he will be in front of GCOM. No, I'm not proud of him. He knows a little humor. But now Sean Anthony Ben is talking, and next Wednesday or Tuesday, I'll be looking for him in front of GCOM. You should go live, Sean. Let people see that you're out there. Don't just come and talk. Time for action, Sean. Put up or shut up, Sean Anthony Ben. That's all I have to say. Lincoln, 30 seconds. Any other thing before you go? Not about Sean Ben, though.
I hope that you are going to invite me again.
We will.
I want to speak my mind. I want to continue to do what I know best, is to fight. Next Tuesday, we have our press conference, the TUCS's press conference again. We are coming every fortnight for the time being. And if possible, we may come twice a week as we go down the line. We have to fight. We cannot allow the butcher from Unity to take all the space.
I like that. We'll end on that note. We have to fight. We cannot allow the butcher from Unity. The butcher from Unity. Y'all know who that butcher from Unity is. Tomorrow on her show, she will be doing all sorts of things, parading, put on lipsticks and wig to host her so-called press conference tomorrow with wickedness and lies upon lies. Speaking of protests, Francine Cruz, you're another one too. Talking, who should do this and who should do that. Francine Cruz, you should go out there and protest too. Blah, 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 blah. Protest, this body should do this. Look, I'm out of here, man. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. God bless you all. Thank you so much, Lincoln. Appreciate it. And I'm sure we will be talking. And so otherwise, I was going to wish you all the best for the holiday season. But I know we do talk almost every day. But thank you so much for your time, sir. Appreciate it. Keep the good work up.
Right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. All right, Lincoln Lewis there for you guys. And hey, I'm out of here, guys. I'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on 107.1 FM. God bless you all, and God bless that beautiful country. Hey, quickly, before we go, on the immigration front, this is what the Supreme Court ruled, not so, maybe 48 hours ago, that the Supreme Court rules that is, judges can't review visa revocations in sham marriage case. So if there's a case that the USCIS folks determined to be a sham, in other words, it's not bona fide, it's not real, and you lose that case, they're saying there cannot be any review by judges. It cannot be. Once USCIS says no, it's a sham, that's the end of it, guys. The US Supreme Court ruled this recently. And so marriages for immigration purposes must have a preponderance of evidence to prove that the marriage is bona fide. You must have the evidence to prove that your marriage is bona fide, guys. And so this ruling here, and there are lots of other changes, even before January 20th of next year, changes in the adjustment of status, and then the fact that people have to wait over 15 years, all manner of things. It's a mess. And as of January 20th, there will be even more mess. Whatever you guys do, here you go, sweetheart. Whatever you guys do, do it the legal way. Be smart, be on point, and present your evidence to substantiate your cases, whether it's a marriage or whatever. Stay strong, guys. I'll be back tomorrow night, same place, same time, right here on 107.1 FM. Thursday night, Tom Anderson is with us tomorrow night. Tom Anderson is going to be with us. And I'm out of here. So long.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata, Francis Vietnam. And since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my ex next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.